I was having a pretty epic year in 2015.
Yeah.
Besides getting a fairly decent grasp on the blindness thing, I went skydiving for the first time. It's kind of like, without the visual part, it's kind of like sticking your head out a fast car.
Yeah. There's no feeling. I do a lot of jumping, and there's no feeling of falling.
The best part of that was just letting go of the airplane.
Yeah.
And then it was waiting for the time when you like hit the ground.
Yeah.
It was cool. But yeah, I wish I could have seen that. But I'd also climbed 3 14ers in a day, Colorado. I went hunting, exotic game ranch in San Antonio.
Yeah.
I'd went kayaking with Lonnie again. I was doing all this thing. I ran the Boston Marathon. I was speaking. I was having so much fun. I was really enjoying my life. And I came home. I was on the phone as I entered the house. Just came back from one such adventure, and I was on the phone with a new girlfriend of mine who would become my wife. And I felt really fatigued. I was really tired. And then like a bout of the strangest dizziness. It wasn't even dizziness. It was like my balance just went away. And I wasn't sure if I was falling or if I was just standing still. But I didn't want to overreact and like crumple for fear of I would actually then smack my head on the countertop or something. And I would just wait. And then the balance would come back for a moment. So I said, you know what, I don't know what's going on here. I'm going to lay down for a nap. I'll call you back later. I went to sleep, and I don't know if it was 5 minutes or an hour later, but I woke up with the worst, I don't know what to call it, migraine. Ate a fistful of Tylenol and puked it back up from the pain. And I knew very quickly that I needed to call 911. And it was kind of funny, a little embarrassing. It's like the operator goes, "You state the nature of the emergency." And I said, "I have a really bad headache." She, to her credit, she goes, on a scale of 1 to 10, how bad's the pain? And I said, "Man, I've never felt a pain like this in my life, and I've literally been blown up before." She said, "The ambulance is on its way." And before I knew it, I was back in the hospital. And what had happened was that crack in my skull that had been patched up, I guess either it hadn't been completely patched or reopened. And I was leaking spinal fluid again, but a path out is a path in, and bacterial meningitis crept in there. And it was trying to eat my brain. And that's what it felt like. Somebody just poured acid into my head. And it was trying to kill me. I wasn't lucid for about 4 days. And my mom said, "Oh, those poor nurses, there was about 8 of them trying to hold you down because you were so confused and scared and angry. And they tried to strap you, broke your restraints. And those little girls were trying to hold you down." But then I came out of the stupor about 4 days later, and it felt as though I was underwater. My hearing was just muffled, and it was fading pretty quickly. And the doctor said that bacterial meningitis was stealing what was left of my hearing that the bomb blast hadn't taken. And the only response I could have thought of at the time was, "Doc, you're telling me I'm going to be 100% blind and 100% deaf. I'm never going to have to pretend to pay attention ever again?" Silver lining to everything. Mm-hmm. Of course, the hearing loss had been extensive enough by then that I didn't hear my mom or my girlfriend who had come into town laugh at that joke. I attribute that to the hearing loss. They must have. Humor, I use it to diffuse the difficult situations. I'm not hiding from it. It's my way of looking at the bright side as soon as I possibly can.
Yeah.
I'll deal with the tough stuff. I don't ignore it. But I've made it a practice to instantly look at the positive first. there's got to be something to learn from every situation. There's got to be an upside. I mean, I was in the hospital for about a month and a half. They did what they could, but the hearing loss was complete. And I got home. Also, the hearing loss, the meningitis, it came with its own bonus gift. Just like the sleep disorder and the blindness, I lost my inner ear balance, the vestibular balance with my hearing loss. So I came home in a wheelchair and locked in my body. So I'm just sitting at my counter, trapped in my body, unable to walk around on my own. And again, like the thoughts this time were why me? What did I do? I mean, I wasn't a bad guy. What did I do to deserve it twice? Haven't I paid my fair share? Hasn't this soldier paid his dues? I did. The why me is the what ifs, right? Those questions that don't have any answer. And if you keep asking and you keep asking the wrong questions, you're going to get nowhere.
What was the right questions?
It was more like, instead of, like saying, I can't, it was asking, how can I?
Yeah.
It was just, okay, this is the situation. There was a chance that I could regain some of my hearing through the cochlear implants, but it was going to take a long time. So,
like a year, right?
it was the infection had to fully clear. Then they would do surgery on the right ear first. And then you had to let the surgical site heal. And then you could do the process or the outer side, portion. And then there was this whole tuning in, they call it mapping, where if like in audio visual terms, they would give you as little information as possible. It's like, say, like just the primary colors. Just a few octaves or tones or whatever you want to call it. And then as your brain learns to hear this new way and it understands the digital signal, then you can add more information. But it's a slow, drawn-out process. And what happened was we found out on the right side is that the blast damage, there was too much scarring in the cochlea, in the inner ear area, that the signal wasn't getting through. So they had that thing turned up to full power. I remember if it was like a loud clap, a bang, or laughter or something, there would be enough to understand that it was a loud sound. But the physical effect, there would be enough of a charge that it would make my cheek twitch. So I'd have this twitch anytime there was a loud noise, which caused my girlfriend and my mom to laugh, which would cause it to twitch again. I'm like, stop it. But we knew very quickly that it was